What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the now live PrizePicks Show. Don't know why that's playing again, but I see. I see how you get. I was also on the YouTube show, so I was hearing myself. All right, so let's jump right into the picks today. Games start at 1 o'clock, 1:10, I believe, is actual first pitch. We don't have many baseball games today. We don't have any NBA games today. So we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. We're going to start to try and build some stacks. As you'll see, not many stacking options. So we're pretty much stuck with some one-off options today. Good news is we've got some really, really good ones, and we've got some that transfer really well from PrizePicks to Underdog. So we'll jump through all of that. Let's jump right into the tool. First one, Ryan Pepiot, more than 27.5 fantasy points. Look at this. We've got him projected for 36.35. You can see this absolutely massive win percentage, almost 80%. The tool has been crushing these pitcher fantasy points, just hitting at astonishing rates. And we understand, I always like to understand why we're so high on a player. So Pepiot this year, his fastball velocity has jumped over a full mile per hour, up to 95. Spin rates are all excellent. He's posted a strikeout rate over 30%. His CSW is up. Like, everything about him just looks great. Now he's facing an Angels offense. They strike out the 12th most, and they walk the 23rd most. I love looking at the walk numbers as well, because when a team doesn't walk as much, that's when you get the games where a pitcher can be much more efficient with his pitches, can work deeper into the ball game, and therefore gets more batters faced to, just get more opportunities for strikeouts and things of that nature. So really like this fantasy points number. Now, if you want to go over to Underdog, their fantasy point line there. Now, the scoring is slightly different. Wins and quality start have different values, but pretty much they always should be the same. Like from a hit rate perspective, if he's 27.5 on PrizePicks, if you want, to know just, hey, is he more likely or less likely to hit? You basically just have to look at the actual fantasy points number. Over there, it's 30.5. So there's nothing in the scoring that makes 30.5 more likely in Underdog than it would be on PrizePicks. So that's a big thing to take advantage of, right? It means, okay, if I'm going to Underdog, I don't want to go with more than 30.5 fantasy points, even though it would still be good, right? We've got him projected at 36, so it's still hittable. Instead, what I recommend doing is check this out. If we take him out there and we go to the strikeouts, we've got Pepiot projected for 7.01. His strikeout line on Underdog is 6.5, but it's juiced by 1.2x. So there's a 1.2x multiplier on more than 6.5, which we have at 59%. So you're getting a 1.2x multiplier for something that we have projected almost 60% likely to hit. So if you're over on Underdog, that's the one you want, more than 6.5 strikeouts, 1.2x multiplier. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to put in the fantasy points number just to start, just to have it over here on the side. From there, the next place I'm going to go, you can kind of see here, there's nothing that totally stands out. Yes, maybe Yandy Diaz, but I like to start with pitchers when I'm looking for one-off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to strikeouts. And although we just talked about Pepiot, typically I like to look for less than strikeouts unless you get a multiplier. If you get a multiplier, that's great. Now, the number one thing that stands out to me here is check out what we've got in the line. 4, 4, 5, 5, 4, 5. Only one that's on a half number. I don't like these because if I go to Ryan Nelson, for example, and I plug him in here, 43.5% likely to get less than 4 strikeouts. So you might say, oh, okay, that means he's probably 56.5% likely to get more. Not the case. If we come over here and we change this and we ask for the more instead, it's 34%. Why is that? Because there's a big likelihood that he lands on exactly 4. And when they land on exactly 4, what happens? PrizePicks slashes the odds, especially if you're using demons. You absolutely do not want any chance of one of your plays tying because they slash it. If you, for example, have a 6-pick play with one demon, you're getting 38x for all 6, you're getting 4x for 5 out of 6, and you have one tie, guess what? Your odds aren't boosted anymore. Now it's 10x if you get them all right, go 5 for 5 with the tie, and 1.5x if you go 4.5 with one tie, or 4 out of 5 with one tie. You do not want ties in any of your prize picks slips, and I don't think you want them in underdog either. Even if even if they're just getting slashed fairly over an underdog, you're still dropping down to a payout that is less favorable. That's why on underdog we like the 3 picks. We don't ever want them dropping to 2 picks, and on prize picks we want those 6 pick plays. We don't ever want them dropping, especially if you're going with a 5 pick or 4 pick. You do not, under any circumstance, want it dropping to a 3 pick. So we don't want ties. So I'm going to go away from the strikeouts. Fortunately, we've got another really good one in the outs department. We've got Kenta Maeda less than 16.5 outs. We've got this at 71% chance to hit. Notice the teams that he has faced so far. A's, it's just been a stretch of really easy matchups for him. So he's gone over this number in the last 2 games. He went 17 outs and 18 outs in the last 2, but he hasn't thrown more than 87 pitches in a game. Much better offense that he's facing today. A team that, by the way, also faces a ton of pitches. So if he's going to be kept anywhere near that 87 pitch number, even if he gets like 90, 92, 93, somewhere in that range, I think he's going to have a very difficult time getting to that 16.5 number. So Maeda, less than 16.5 outs, also available on underdogs. We've got 2 there. Now, I do want to look at stack possibilities. So we come here and we see immediately, okay, Tristan Casas, more than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. That looks really good, right? 59.4% chance. But we can't really add to this with anybody. Rafaela, only 48.6% chance. We're not even getting a nice correlation bonus since they hit nowhere near each other in the order. We can go to, let's see, I believe it was Jimenez. Is he still there? Was with the guard. Yeah, so Andres Jimenez is another one that I really liked. He was just been taken down. He was also at 58.6%. Still available over on PrizePicks. Now, on underdog, sorry. So Jimenez, more than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI, can be the third leg to an underdog play. You go Jimenez, more than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Maeda, less than 16.5 outs. And then Pepio, more than 6.5 strikeouts with the 1.2x multiplier. That's a fantastic 3-pick play over on underdog. On underdog, this Casas more than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. Guess what? That's only a 0.8x multiplier. So it's like being juiced, at minus 140 on a sportsbook, something like that, right? So I don't love that over on underdog. What you can do with Casas, though, he's got a 5.2x multiplier on his home run. If you want to get a little bit crazy, if you get your 3-pick play all the way up to 37x over on underdog with the Casas home run multiplier, we've got him with an 18% chance to homer today. So we actually do show value there. It's one of the very rare times that I'm going to actually recommend a home run multiplier on underdog. Good for them. PrizePicks, sometimes they give these demons with home runs, and it's like a 2x multiplier. It's like, man, they are just taking advantage of people who aren't doing the math behind this. Casas over an underdog, good for them. They made it 5.2x. There's actually some real value. So if you are going to play underdog today, which I very much recommend, again, very few games, it's going to be hard to build out a full 6-pick slip that you feel really good about on PrizePicks. So head over to underdog, use the promo code on the screen, FTN, for a 100% deposit bonus match. You can also use the QR code on the screen to get that done, right? Just, hey, deposit, you get a free $100. Use those free $100 on the 2 3-pick plays that I just recommended. Now you're back to even if they don't hit, you still have that original 100 that you just deposited. So take advantage of that, and hopefully we hit big over there today. What I recommend doing on PrizePicks, you can use these picks to start it, and then maybe you've got some NBA plays that you already really like. I don't. I'm going to wait for Zach's analysis. Number one, I love all of the work that Zach has done on the NBA side of things. And then I like to combine Zach's analysis with what we've got on the tool. That tool, it needs the games to be in there. So we're going to wait. I'm going to wait, I should say, for tomorrow morning before I start loading up some NBA stuff. Unless Zach jumps into the Discord here soon and has some plays for us, then as long as these games haven't kicked off yet, I will try to add those on PrizePicks, turn those into some 6-pick plays. But for now, feel really, really good about the approach over on Underdog today. And also want to take some note of what PrizePicks and Underdog have going on the PGA side of things. The course is playing pretty easy so far today. I've been hoping for slightly more favorable birdie or better numbers over on PrizePicks. We've got Rory and Oberg. Those were the two that I was really hoping we'd get 4.5 birdie or better numbers on. Instead, they've got 5.0. Basically, everybody else who hasn't teed off yet is at 4.5. So I do lean towards the more on all of these birdie or better plays. But man, if we had 4.5 on either Rory or Oberg, those would be some of the strongest on the board today. And I'd be adding those to the PrizePicks slips as well and getting at least 5 or a 6-pick play using some of the PGA stuff. But this is what we got today. We'll be in the Pick'em Discord. Zach will be in there talking basketball once we get to that. So we will see you there. Thanks for tuning in. If you've got any questions for me, as always, drop those in the Pick'em Discord channel. You can even start commenting on the YouTube video, participating in this live chat as well. Love to see any and all of that. So thank you guys for helping to build this show. I can already see we've got 90 plus viewers in here. This is fantastic. Thank you for trusting our analysis. And hey, it seems like a pretty good idea, right? Like we're hitting at this crazy 62.9% number on the season. So when you got 62.9%, 188 and 111, people should want to know what we have to say about this stuff. And it's all thanks to the Pick'em tool, right? Like this is not myself and Zach just looking at the board and seeing what our brains come up with. We are just following the Pick'em tool, and the Pick'em tool is hitting at these crazy, crazy rates. So make sure you join us over at ftnfantasy.com now. Brand new site. The tool looks as good as ever. Join us there. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.